All right, y'all, we're out in the garden today. We're going to be doing some preserving of the harvest. Now, look at these collard greens. These collard greens have really come on, so I'm going to come down here and I'll pick some of the bigger leaves on the bottom. But we're not making traditional collard greens today. What we're going to be doing is making collard kraut. Yes, fermented collard greens into sauerkraut. Now, have I ever done this? Nope. But I did see somebody on the interwebs that had did it. So I said, you know something? We're gonna give that a go. So what's great about collard greens is you can pick these bigger leaves like this and it'll keep on keeping on. Like these will grow, and those smaller leaves will just keep putting on more collards. So just gonna get these like this. This one right here, see that yellowing? That was caused by a freeze that we had the other day on the frost, but I can pick what I need off that and still use the rest of it. And this is all you do. You just pick it. And collards are one of those things that give you tons of food every year. Absolute tons. So I'm just going to keep doing this and we'll see y'all inside. Okay, so here's our collards. Now, even though I grew these collards in our garden, I know they're organic, nothing's ever been sprayed on them. I'm still going to give them a good wash. But first, I'm going to take and I'm going to remove these woody stems, just like this. And this is time consuming. It's very time consuming. So what I'm going to do is I'll remove the stems and lay them over here, and when I get a big enough stack, I'll come through and I'll cut them down to the size that we're going to need for our kraut. And I was just thinking about this, y'all. This video is a sauerkraut video, so this has got to ferment. And even though we're doing this now, and today's what, the 6th of October? 7th of October. 6th. You won't be seeing this for quite a while because I'm not going to just post this first part. I'm going to let all this ferment, save this footage, and then we'll have a wonderful video for y'all, start to finish, of collard kraut. So I'm just going to continue to do this, take these stems out, and once I get a good stack of them here, we'll come back and I'll show y'all how I'm going to cut these up. Now, with sauerkraut, cabbage is full of water. These collards are not near as full of water, so we're going to salt these and pound these, but it's not going to produce near enough water that we're going to need. So I'm going to be using some filtered water in here, distilled water, to subsidize the liquid, because we're going to need this to be submerged under liquid so that we don't have any oxygen in there. So, oh, I like the way this looks. That's this thin stem. I'm just going to take a little bit of that off. So let me get this done, and I'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to cut these up and wash them. All right, I've got all of them destemmed, and what I'm doing, I'm saving the stems. I'm going to pop these in the freezer, and I'm going to make a vegetable stock with those, some onions, some garlic, some carrots, maybe some parsnips, anything I can find on sale at the grocery store. I'm going to make a veggie stock, and it's going to be delicious. So right now what I'm doing, I'm taking these collards, and I'm just going to roll them up. I've got a little stack here. This is probably 3 or 4 leaves. I'm going to cut them into little ribbons. This is different than I would make collard greens, because if I was making collard greens, I would cut them in about 1 inch pieces. But since we're doing sauerkraut, I'm going to do this a little bit differently, and I'm just going to give it another little chop right down the middle. And then throw them over in here to get washed. And we're just going to continue doing this So get me another little stack. Y'all, these are so lovely. Really, really nice. Okay. So, cut. I'm doing, I guess, about a 1/4 inch maybe on these. Oh, wait, give these some chop. I love collard, y'all, and I've never had collard kraut, but hey, I mean, it's collards, fermented. So my thinking is, what's not to like, right? So I'm gonna continue doing this, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wash them and rinse them probably about 3 times because I really want them good and clean. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna salt them and start this process for the fermentation. All right, now this is a lot of greens. So what I'm gonna do is, with my sauerkraut, I did 2.5 tablespoons of salt. This time I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons of salt. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of salt. Now this is pink Himalayan salt. And I would usually just do it in this bowl here, but there's too many. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer these over into this 5-gallon bucket. Now this 5-gallon bucket is a food bucket. All we do in this bucket is food. Most times it's a turkey to brine. So I'm gonna sprinkle over some salt, just like that. I'm gonna keep mixing. A little bit more salt. And then once I get it in here, what I'll do, let's see here, let me get it down here so I can start mixing a little bit. I may even have to add more salt to this. I don't really know. But I tell you, these are beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Pink Himalayan salt. More greens. And now what I'm going to do is, once I get this salt mixed up in here, I'm just going to toss everything around to coat it really, really good. And you're this is a lot of greens. I may add just a little bit more salt. Another tablespoon. Because that's a lot of greens. Well, I don't know. We'll see what this does. Okay, so that's the last little bit. So, I'm going to mix this around, and I'm just going to let it sit and let that salt start working on the greens, and then we'll come back and probably put it back in this bowl before we start packing the jar to make the kraut. We are ready. I've got 2 quarts, and I'm hoping that all this fits in 2 quarts. So what I'm going to do is, I've already mashed these up really, really good. So what we're going to do is start packing these into jars. Just like this. Okay. Now, once I get that in, I'm going to come over here and get my wood spoon. We're going to start packing. Packing it down. Now, I've not added any water to this yet because I wanted to see what we had. So, pack this down. And there is water in there. I'm probably still have to add some more, but there is a little bit of water in there. So, let's pack that down. Load the jars down. Yeah, there's water in the bottom of this. There's water in the bottom of this, so that'll be fine. Okay. Pack more. All right. Pack, 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 pack. And I am going to have to add some water, but this is looking good. I did add another tablespoon of salt to this, so get this in here. All right. I'm going to add this. I'm going to pack this down. Oops. I dropped the jar. Drop the jar again. My hands are slippery. Okay. Okay. Let's pack this in. Oh, look. See, there's piles of liquid there. That's good. That's amazing. I may not have to add any water, y'all. That may be good. Okay, so that's packed down in there. Let's pack this jar. I think we'll be good. These are 2-quart jars that I'm using. I can't wait to taste this once it's done. Well, for me, it's going to be at least 2 weeks before I can taste it. For you, in just a few minutes, we're going to see what we've got. So, okay. Out there. Pack down. Yeah, look. That's gorgeous. Okay. Alright. Yeah. More. We need more. This down. I'm gonna have to go get some turnip leaves, collard leaves, to pack these down in. Look at that, lovely. This is gorgeous, y'all. Put a little more in here. Okay. There. All right. Pack it down a little bit more. Really pack it in. Okay. Pack. Put a little bit more in. We hadn't got much left in here, so I may not be able to fit all of it in, but I'll be able to fit the majority of it in. Here. All right. That's going to be good. Let me go in this here for a second. We're going to go and get some collard leaves to press over the top so that everything is submerged. So let me go do that. Okay, so I went and got some more leaves, and the point of these leaves is to put on top just like that, so nothing floats above. All right. So, right there, nothing's above the water. This is going to mean, okay, let me get a clean ring. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is put this on here. Give it a rinse. All right, now, that's going to sit and ferment. Let me get this other leaf. Take out the stem. Split the stem. Put this in to make sure everything is under the liquid. And now I'm going to have to come in every few days, something's floating right there, and burp these. Because what's going to happen once it starts to ferment is the gases in here are going to bubble up, and I'll have to burp these lids so that the pressure stays regulated. But I think I may actually have enough in here for a pint. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. But for right now, we're going to end this. And we'll come back for you in just a second. But for me and Wayne, it'll be 2 weeks. We'll come back and we'll taste this after 14 days. So See you in a minute. Okay, for y'all, it's been just a few minutes. For me, it's been 3 weeks. Now, I tasted these after 2 weeks, and I'm here to tell you, these are different. These are very different. I kind of expected somewhat close to sauerkraut, and it is, but they're really different. So these are done. It is time for these to make their way into the refrigerator. As you can see, a lot of the liquid has gone down. I've just pressed liquid down and pressed liquid down. I have tasted them a few times, but the liquid has really gone down quite a bit. I did put that other pint in here, so all of them are consolidated. I'm taking these bags out. Now, these is just little bags of like little marbles that I've been using to keep the stuff pressed down in. Now, I want to take out, let's see, is there one more bag? No. I want to take out these big pieces like this. This is those leaves that I put in there to help them stay down. But now it's time to taste these for y'all. There's lots of liquid. I can't wait to get these in the refrigerator and get them cold because they're still room temperature. This has been a wonderful, wonderful experience, y'all, to make these. Now, let's go and smell. The first thing you smell is fresh. There's a sharp smell too. I think that's the first thing you get is that sharp smell. Almost kind of like a sulfur smell, but that's normal with collards. You know, if you cook collards for a long time, you get that sulfur smell. So let's give them a taste. Crunchy. What I did notice, I did put a little too much salt in. The next time I do these, and I won't use as much salt. But y'all, these have got a wonderful flavor. They're different. You cannot go into this expecting, now you do taste the collards, but you've got to expect a different flavor as well. Pungent is a good word. Fermented collard greens. I will do it again. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment box, subscribe. If you've got any question about this process, let me know. What would I eat these with? Beans. Like pinto beans. New Year's is coming up. Definitely be having some of these with some of that juice on my black-eyed peas. Because, you know, you got to have greens and you got to have black-eyed peas. So this is going to do for the greens part and some cornbread. Absolutely lovely, y'all. So, yeah, subscribe to the channel. If you know of anybody that likes collard greens that might like this video, share it. And until next time, talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.